good morning students. In today's class, we are going to learn the second part of module 2, which is FFT algorithms. So FFT is basically fast Fourier transform algorithm. So what is the purpose of using this particular algorithm is we are going to find the DFT of a given discrete time sequence x of n for larger value of capital N. So for example, if it is given to find the 100-point DFT of the sequence x of n, it is difficult to use the normal formula for computation of DFT. Why? Because the number of calculations will be more, as well as there will be more number of complex multiplications and additions if n is going to be a large value. So in order to reduce the number of computation as well as in order to save the time, we'll be going with this FFT algorithm, which is fast Fourier transform algorithm. So the advantage of this FFT algorithm is that you'll be able to find endpoint DFT for any sequence provided n is very large. So because of this advantages, we are going with this FFT algorithms. So we have got two algorithms here as per the syllabus. It is decimation in time algorithm and decimation in frequency algorithm. So using these two algorithms, we are going to calculate the DFT and IDFT for the given data. So this is about the introduction part. So let us learn in deep how this is implemented using decimation in time algorithm and decimation in frequency algorithm. Okay. So let us compare the direct computation of DFT with FFT algorithm and we'll find out what are the number of calculations we are going to do. Okay. So as I told, the direct computation of DFT and what is the purpose of FFT algorithm. As we know, the direct computation of DFT, it involves large number of computations and this will make the system to be very slow and it is impractical also. So for this purpose, we are going to develop a special algorithm which is quite efficient to calculate the DFT of a given data for larger value of n. Hence, we call this algorithm as fast Fourier transform algorithms. And by the definition of DFT, we know the normal computation formula what we are going to use is x of k is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n wn power of kn, whereas k ranges from 0 to n minus 1. And as we know, x of n is the input sequence which can be either real or complex, and wn is your twiddle factor and it is a complex data and it takes the form e power of minus j 2 pi by n. So if I am going to expand this normal definition x of k, I will be getting the complex multiplications as x of 0 with wn, there will be a complex multiplication, and again x of 1 with wn power of k into 1 and x of 2 into wn power of 2k. So these are the various complex multiplications, and if you observe for any given x of n, the number of complex multiplications will be more, and the complex addition is nothing but if I am going to add the first term and the second term, it is again a complex addition. Okay, so overall if you observe, there will be n minus 1 complex additions for each value of k and n number of complex multiplications if we are going with the normal DFT computation. Okay, and this seems to be very high if the n is large. So what I am going to do is I am going to make use of the FFT algorithm where the number of complex multiplications will get reduced to n square, and in the same way the number of complex additions also it will be reduced to n square minus n. So this is for if we are going to implement the FFT algorithm. And apart from that, I want to teach you what are the properties of phase factor or twiddle factor. So as you know, the endpoint DFT of a sequence x of n is x of k is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n wn power of kn, where k ranges from 0 to n minus 1. So in this wn, as I told, it is named as a twiddle factor. So this twiddle factor is having a property called symmetry and periodicity property. So this property, it will be helpful if you study it and implement in the FFT algorithm. So what is symmetry property states? So the statement is Wn power of k plus n by 2 is equal to minus Wn power of k. So let us prove it. So we'll take the left hand side of the equation Wn power of k plus n by 2. And as we know, Wn is e power of minus j 2 pi by n whole to the power of k plus n by 2. Okay. And this k plus n by 2 will just multiply and will segregate it. Okay. So it becomes e power of minus j 2 pi by n into k, and the other term is e power of minus j 2 pi by n into n by 2. So we'll simplify, n will get cancelled for the second term and 2 also will get cancelled. So finally you will be getting us e power of minus j 2 pi k by n into e power of minus j pi. So the value of e power of minus j pi is minus 1. So minus into e power of minus j 2 pi k by n, it is minus Wn power of k. And we are able to prove, that is Wn power of k plus n by 2 is equal to minus Wn power of k. So hence we have proved the symmetry property. So as I told, the second property is periodicity property of the Tittle factor Wn. So the statement is Wn power of k plus n is equal to Wn power of k. So again let us prove it. Wn power of k plus n will write, and what is Wn is e power of minus j 2 pi by n whole power of k plus n. So we'll just multiply k and n will just segregate it, and let us simplify it. So we are getting us e power of minus j 2 pi k by n into e power of minus j 2 pi. So the value of e power of minus j 2 pi is 1, and multiply this 1 with that, we'll be getting e power of minus j 2 pi by n into k. So in this, e power of minus j 2 pi by n is Wn and whole power of k. So this is equal to the right hand side of the equation. Hence we have proved the periodic property of Twiddle factor. And one more thing is, Wn power of 2 can be written as Wn by 2. So how it is possible is, write down the left hand side, which is Wn power of 2, which is nothing but e power of minus j 2 pi by n whole power of 2. Okay. So here you just multiply with 2. It becomes e power of minus j 2 pi by n divided by 2. So if you observe, it is nothing but Wn, whereas instead of n, it is n by 2. So you can write this particular term as Wn by 2, which is equal to the right hand side of the equation. Hence you have proved the Twiddle properties of Twiddle factor. Okay. Thanks for listening. Let us continue in the next class. Thank you.